Welcome to a special edition of the JMC Network Sportscast.
An all-access guide to the current standing of the ACU Wildcats football team, as well as a glimpse into their past. I'm Kimberly Prather.
And I'm Michael Freeman. The Wildcat football team is perfect. After defeating Midwestern State 47-17 on Saturday at Shotwell Stadium, ACU finished the regular season with a 10-0 overall record in the Lone Star Conference Championship title. But the Wildcats didn't take the title without a fight from the Mustangs. Midwestern State actually ended the first quarter with a 14-7 lead, but ACU bounced back to take a 23-17 advantage going into halftime. In the second half, the Wildcat defense buckled down, allowing only 11 offensive yards for the rest of the game. ACU forced 2 turnovers and had 6 sacks in the game, led by defensive lineman Aston Whiteside, who had a career-high 3 sacks. The Wildcats finished with 571 yards of total offense, led by quarterback Billy Malone, who ended the game with 262 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. Running back Bernard Scott racked up 243 all-purpose yards and 1 touchdown.
I sat down with head coach Chris Thompson earlier this week, where he shared his thoughts on how this victory was possible and how they rewrote the record books along the way.
There's been exceptional commitment on the part of our assistant coaches and on the part of our players, not just this year, but in the past 3 or 4 years to get this thing to a level, that it's at right now. I just think and also we've been very blessed. I mean, we've been very fortunate. We've had some exceptional players come along, and the last time we won an outright championship in '73, we had Wilbert Montgomery, exceptional players like that, and it takes exceptional talent to do that, but also a strong commitment on the part of the players and the assistant coaches, and I think that's been a key piece.
Cody Veteto stopped by the practice field to talk to some of the key players who have contributed to this year's success.
I stopped by the field where the ACU Wildcats are practicing for this weekend's playoff game.
Bye weeks just give us a chance to work on our fundamentals. We get our chance to get better at what we do at the base of it. We do a lot of things on offense and defense. This gives us a chance to go back and not only just rest our body, but work on the fundamentals of things and the basics so that we can be better at what we do in the scheme of things.
We made it to the second round because we won a Lone Star Conference, so we get a bye week. But yeah, this is the second round. We already made it to the second round.
Becoming an LSC champ takes more work than people know. This has been a 3, 4, 5 year in making for this to happen. We've spent summers up here. A lot of guys, this past summer, we had 50-plus football players stay here in Abilene and sacrifice their time to work out every day and be together so that we could become better and be prepared as well as we can once football season starts. So it takes a lot of work, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it. It's a big blessing.
Fans now have more options for showing off their Wildcat pride with the unveiling of new apparel in the campus store.
I'm here in the campus store where new ACU apparel has been released. Earlier today, I spoke with Scott Harsh, Assistant Store Director, about the impact on sales since the Wildcats became LSC champions.
Well, we have seen an increase in apparel sales, and most schools, when they do have a successful football program, do see an increase in sales, and we have seen that this year as well as last year with both victorious seasons. Since we did become conference champs, we have come out with 2 new shirt designs that celebrate the fact that they are conference champions. We do have plans for the future if they do take the national title, that we will bring out some new designs to celebrate that as well.
If ACU wins their first game on November 22nd and their next game on November 29th, they would advance to the semifinals, which will be broadcast nationally on ESPN2 or ESPN Classic. And if the Wildcats win that game, they will play for the national championship on December 13th in Florence, Alabama.
A big part of any sports program is the fan base.
With the Wildcats currently 10-0, I asked some students around campus how they felt about this historic season.
Well, I think my favorite moment was when we beat WT. I went to high school with a lot of people that went to WT, and so it was just really exciting for us to beat them this year after we lost to them last year.
I'm really excited. When I was in high school, our football team was really awful, so
it's nice that they're winning and that they're doing really well. And it's fun to go to the games when you win.
It's just really cool to be a part of something, this big, and it's just really exciting. I think Coach Thompson has done a really good job with the guys, and it's just exciting, to get the ACU name out there and really be a part of God's people.
ACU has had its fair share of good athletes come through the Abilene Christian University football program, but never has ACU seen a program that is as deep and well-rounded as this season's team. The win over Midwestern State Saturday crowned the Wildcats Lone Star Conference champions, which was only their third championship in Wildcat history. The Wildcats managed to obtain only the second perfect regular season in program history. The last outright Lone Star Conference championship came back in 1973, 35 years ago. That team went all the way by capturing the NAIA Division I title. The 1973 National Championship team holds the Lone Star Conference record that still holds today, including ranking in the top offensive teams. The next title for the Wildcats came in 1977, where the conference championship title was shared with Texas A&M Kingsville. However, there is no sharing the NAIA Division I national title that the Wildcats went on to claim that year.
James McCoy, ACU alumnus and former defensive end for the Wildcats, sat down with Sommerly Simser to reminisce about playing in the 1977 Apple Bowl, where the Wildcats claimed the national championship title.
I'm here in James McCoy Drugstore, where owner and former ACU alum James McCoy sat down to talk to us about his experience winning the national championship title in 1977 with the ACU Wildcats football team.
We had a really good team, a lot of not spectacular players, but everybody played really well together. There were some good athletes. We made it through the regular season. I think we lost the game. I can't remember the record exactly, but I know we ended at A&I, and it was kind of a crazy game. We went into the fourth quarter tied ahead 25-0, and at the end of the game it was tied 25-25. And then we had to win the last game against Howard Payne to make it to the playoff round. And anyway, we made it, and then we were all really excited to get to play in the Kingdom in Seattle, and fly up there and spend a few days and see the sights. And so it was an exciting time.
James McCoy, right in. I'm a senior, and I'm from Haskell, Texas.
We had a hard time in between the plays. They showed it on the big jumbo screen, and of course we weren't used to that, so we'd all be turned around and looking at the jumbo screen, and the other team would come to the line, would go, oh yeah, we got to play another play. So that was a really neat deal. Just the city, that stadium was so big. There were a lot of people there, but that stadium was so big it made it look like the crowd wasn't as big as it really was. A really interesting thing for me in the game, I got hurt in the second quarter, and I got married the next Saturday with a cast from my waist down. So that was kind of an interesting thing. They actually at halftime put a brace on my leg and let me play the rest of the game. But then the next Tuesday I got a full cast on my leg and got married that Saturday.
That's all the time that we have for today. Thank you for joining us.
And we hope to see you at the playoff game at Shotwell Stadium on November 22nd.